What's up, everybody at iSocialMentor? Shout out to my boy Chris Collins for doing big things. I love what you guys are doing, and I love about this idea of incorporating social media, but also at the same time putting positive vibes out there and things that'll make the difference. My name is Jason Jordan. Me and Chris grew up together, and I'm from the great state of Missouri, hometown of Kennett, Missouri, which is also the hometown of Sheryl Crow and methamphetamines. I don't know if you knew that or not. But yeah, man, that's kind of the claim to fame. And I've just got a unique story that I wanted to share with you guys. I grew up in a great home, had great parents. I'm the youngest of 4 boys in my family. And so I, in my life, never really got to play the card of kind of like, man, I was surrounded by people that didn't love me. That's why I made these bad mistakes and X, Y, and Z. And man, I just had great parents, great brothers, great family, and I just was sort of outgoing, kind of always wanted to outdo the person next to me and some things like that. And quite frankly, I did such a good job at that they rewarded me to stay home for my first 80 days of freshman year in high school. And I got to visit juvenile detention for that, which was pretty incredible. And so you would think that there my life changed and I started making some better decisions, but man, that's not really true. I moved from Kennett, Missouri to Columbia, Missouri, my junior year of high school, and my graduating class there in Columbia ended up being about 575 students, just my graduating class. So it was a really large high school, and man, I just needed to make a name for myself. I was going to try to be known, and so I really tried as hard as I could to fit in. So whatever was going on at the party, I was there. No matter what anybody was drinking at the party, I was there. No matter what anybody was taking at the party, I was there. And man, just a lot of things started to lead way in my life, to be honest with you. I really thought that I had control. I think everybody thinks that, honestly, about their life. That kind of everybody thinks that they are the exception. So whether it's a relationship that you're in and it's abusive or it's not positive, you think like, oh, I'm the exception. I can change this person. And the reality is that nobody's the exception. And so, man, my life really started to spiral down quickly. My freshman year of college, I like to say that I did so well that they asked me not to come back after the first semester. And so I got kicked out of college, man, and I did what any tough guy did, moved in with his parents at that time. And man, I just continued to make a lot of decisions in my life. And one thing led to another, and everything that I owned was in my car at one point. And I received a phone call that would forever alter the trajectory of my life. And come to find out all the details of that phone call weren't actually true. And really what was the most foundational moment for me in my life was not the highest point. It was actually the lowest point. And the reason why I think that's important for us as individuals to understand, and a lot of people that are my age and generation looking at life, is because, man, we're so concerned about like the Instagram post, how many likes it gets, how many likes the status gets, or what's the job going to be like after I'm out of school. It's always the next big thing. We always view our life through the lens of mountaintop experiences. But in reality, our character is not defined in mountaintop experiences. Our character is defined in the valleys, in the lowest points of our life. I'm trying to say it like this. A lot of us think that the struggle is what the struggle is. But in reality, the struggle and the process is actually the point. And man, when I was on the side of the road, everything that I owned was in my car at that time. And I just cried out, man. I cried out to God and I said, man, I've been trying to do this thing my way for like the past 7+ years of my life. And nothing has come good of it, nothing. So I'm going to tap out. I'm going to surrender this thing over to you. And I'll never forget looking in the dashboard of my car. Anytime I was around my parents, my dad is a pastor actually, and he would always give me scriptures written on note cards. And I looked in the dashboard of my car and there was a note card there. And it said Matthew 6:33, seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all of these things will be added unto you. And I'll never forget that moment. I'll never forget that moment of completely surrendering and tapping out and realizing that the process was the point. That there's actually satisfaction in the struggle, and that we're always going to struggle in this. But when we understand this point is what changed my life, is that life isn't about me, but my life is about living for a greater glory other than me. I mean, I would challenge you guys to take a look at your life and to say, really, at the end of the day, what does all of this matter? At the end of the day, when I'm standing there, or if I'm at a funeral and I'm picturing myself, what my funeral is going to be like, what are people going to say about me? Man, he had a great Instagram. I just don't think anybody's going to say that. I don't think anybody's going to say, wow, he had a lot of nice clothes and some really cool cars. But I tell you what people will say. People will notice if you either lived life for yourself or if you lived life for a greater glory. And people may on your funeral stand up and say, man, she was always there for me. Or man, he always stuck his neck out no matter what was happening. He always spurred me on to do something better. Or this, at the end of the day, what I know about this person is that this person loved Jesus. And you may be asking, Jason, why do you bring Jesus into the equation? Because for me and my story, when I looked and assessed how to view life and how to view the world, I tried to look at it through every lens. Through other religions, whether it was Muhammad, whether it was Buddha, whether it was science, whether it was logic, whether it was philosophy. I really studied and tried to pursue what's the best worldview in light of this. And one stood out from among all of them. And it was just this man over in the Middle East, Jesus Christ. This man who ultimately didn't live a life for himself, but lived a life of greater good and greater glory, even for his own enemies. And do you know why I think that's so profound? Because here we are in 2017, and you're watching this video on Instagram or a social media feed, and we've mentioned the name Jesus. Almost 2,000 years later, this man who claimed to be God is still wrecking shop, if you will, and is still in the front headlines of everything. So man, I'm Jason Jordan, and my life changed when I realized that my life is not about me, but my life is about living my life for a greater glory and a greater good that I found in the person of Jesus Christ. I love you guys. Keep your head up and your heart right, and I hope to see you guys again soon. Shout out to everybody at iSocialMentor. Love you, Chris. See you guys. Peace.